Hello, and welcome to the Studio 78 podcast. I am your host, Nache Snow from NacheSnow.com. That is N as in Nancy, ACHESNOW.com. You can also find me all over social media. Just search Nache Snow and I should come right up. Doesn't matter if it's Pinterest, Instagram, IG, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, I am there. So please follow me over there. Today is an interesting topic. It is about how to deal with friends and family who might not be supportive. So first of all, if you are my friends and family and you're listening to this, clearly I'm not talking about you. You're very supportive. But I think Astral and I have both experienced people who are always on our side, on our team, trying to help us out. And then there's other people who just won't even do the free things that will help kind of spread the word and share our business. And so we just have a frank discussion about how that makes us feel and how you should react to it. And Astral and I actually have two different ways of dealing with this. So I think you will find the conversation to be interesting. So we start off a little bit just catching up, but then we dive right into it. Definitely hit me up on social media and let me know what you think about this episode and about getting support from friends and family. Anyway, let's get into the episode. Here we go. I have Astral back on today. Hey, Astral, how's everything been going?
Hello. Everything is just dandy.
So, okay, I know. So this episode, folks, is going to be about, we just wanted to talk about friends and family, support when it comes to a new endeavor. But before we even go into that, I just wanted to ask Astral, how are things going with your business?
Things are, I guess I could say they're picking up a little bit. I got my first wholesale order for the new year, although I haven't gotten paid for it yet. So we'll see how that turns out. But other than that, it's cool. But it's tricky though. When you're doing things, when you have a business and you're doing stuff that you love, but you're trying to make money off of it, it gets hard sometimes, especially when you're in the crafting business. When you're making your own stuff, it gets kind of hard trying to make money off of what you love. Because it's oh my God, I just got this wholesale order. It's almost $400, super stoked. And then it's oh crap, I got to make this stuff. So I was I got to make the time for it? Do I feel like it? But it's funny because before I was making money off of it, I was making things left and right just because.
Right. So let's get to what we were going to talk about. So Astral and I, we every once in a while when we're doing things, we talk about support from friends and family. And Astral actually, in this private Facebook group we have for our fashion truck folks, posted a question in there, and I'm going to bring that up. And she just asked people, what did you ask them?
If anybody has had problems getting support from friends and family for their business.
And I'm looking for it now, but it seems like it was all over the map, right?
See, here's the thing. Here's my view.
Oh, God.
If you're my friend, or you're a close family member, there are things that you are inherently supposed to do. Okay? Just no question. That's in my mind. And I feel that I should do them back. If you were, starting a business or whatever, I'm going to do the same thing for you. Now, associates or whatever, if we're not that close, then I don't have the expectation for you. I don't have the same expectation as I do for someone who's very close to me. So I expect if I start a new business, or even if I've been in business for 5 years, support me. And by support, I mean, talk about my business. talk about me on social media, talk about me in person to friends, whomever, speak me up. You know, if you don't believe in what I'm doing, then that's one thing. But if you do and I'm doing good work, then share it. Share it on social media. It's not a lot to click a share button. It's really not. It's not a lot to say, hey, I have a friend or a family member who's doing blah, blah, blah. Why don't you go check them out? Share a website. That's not hard to do. So, what I don't understand is why people don't do it. Like when you and I first came out with the Can I Park Here podcast,
Mm-hmm.
we had a very hard time trying to get people to just go and leave a comment or rate us.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily we can't make people listen to it, but I mean, come on now. You can't support us by going to leave a rating. It takes a second. And between the two of us, we probably asked, over 100 people.
Do you think it's like laziness?
It has to be a combination of laziness and just they don't care.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a weird thing because, there's like two schools of thought on this, right? Like some people believe like, hey, if you are truly a good friend and a family member, you should support, like, even if maybe the topic doesn't interest you, still share it, rate, do whatever, do something to help your person out. And then other people, like I think one of the, I can't find the post for some reason, but someone else had wrote under the question Astral left about this. They were like, it's not the responsibility of the friends and family to promote it. It's like up to you to get people who are interested, I guess, in whatever you're doing to do that then.
And I believe that it's different. Support and promotion there's a fine line, but it's different. Like I'm not asking people to go out and market my business. That's not what I'm asking. Show me that you believe in me. Show me that you believe in my business and what I'm doing. That's all I'm asking. And by doing that is if I post something, just like it or share it. I mean, come on, you can't even like it. Really?
I mean, yeah. I mean, and it's so interesting because if I take like this new venture, I use that as a case study, right? And, within the first week or two, there's like a core group of people that always supports, right? They're going to like anything that I put out and they're going to follow me on different places. They're going to share some of the content. They're like ride or die, and they know I'll do the same for them too, because it's that support. You have to build each other up. It's like a community thing. And it's like that is kind of what you expect, or what some people, I guess what we expect sometimes from friends and family, but it doesn't always happen. Now, when it doesn't happen, like let's say if I email somebody and don't hear something back, or I notice that they don't respond to it, I don't get upset because to each his own. But I think sometimes it's a little bit of like laziness and forgetfulness too. Is because I think of like, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Two good friends that I went out with for New Year's, I was like, hey, I need you guys to rate me on my podcast. And they were like, oh. And it wasn't even, they did not rate it to be malicious or to not support. They just probably saw my post on it and was like, oh yeah, I'll get to it. And so at the dinner table, I'm like, okay, I need y'all to open your phones right now. And I need y'all to rate the podcast, which they did willingly, and it was fine, right? But it's just, I think sometimes people, they put things to the side. They don't maybe necessarily understand how those little acts of liking or rating go such a long way. Like even
I think, see, you're the optimist. I am the realist, and I think that their priorities are effed up. Okay, because if I see you liking and sharing ridiculous memes all day and crazy videos of like dogs and cats fighting and just crazy stuff. And you can't even like a post I made about my business. Are you crazy? And the way like the algorithm that Facebook has now, it's like if we're friends and I like something, 9 times out of 10, somebody else is gonna see that you liked my post.
Right.
You know, and that's all you have to do is just one little click. A click of a button. And I mean, come on. That's it. That's all I ask. And, you know, people just can't do it.
Yeah, I think there's multiple things.
Job. It is their job. Their responsibility as a friend or a family member. It is your job to do that. That is what I believe. So to click a like button, that's your job.
I think especially if so and to break it down too, it's not like we're saying or you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, like anything you put out they should be liking. It's just that if they know that you have a business, you're trying to do something with it and you're trying to do good, then, you know, do your family member or your friend a solid and just like it, because there's no harm in liking it.
Right.
Like if you can like a video that's been seen 1,000,000 times of like a cat, you can like, you know, Astral's post with like, hey, check out my macrame, you know, because it doesn't mean you have to buy anything. They just don't I think they just don't, some people just don't get of the value of a like and how that goes a long way for an entrepreneur or a small business.
Now, if my product was crap, I can understand that. But I know that my product is so, and if we in conversation, you're telling me that you like my stuff. I now know that you like it, you know, so why can't you show me that love via social media? That's all I'm asking.
Now, I think sometimes this might play into it. And so, you know, this isn't for everybody. Like I've heard other, you know, interviewees talk about this, but sometimes what plays into it too is like somebody might see that you're doing well and jealousy. Out of sheer spite.
Yeah. Yes. I think that is very much the case with some people. Very much.
But this is what I'll say, folks, and this is my whole thing. Like, I do not expect anyone to have to like my stuff. Like, if I put it out there,
liar, pants on fire.
No, I don't. Like, here's the thing:
if I didn't like your stuff, you would be pissed. Like, why is this heifer not liking anything that I post? Like, why is she not sharing anything? You would be mad. You would.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah, come on, Michelle.
I mean, and this is why I say this. And maybe before we started, like, Find a Fashion Truck and stuff, maybe even before Tall Look. I think when I started doing that Tall blog, it changed me a little bit because I realized that you have a small group of core people that are in your friends and family circles that will support you no matter what endeavor it is, even if it's something that they have no interest in. And everybody else just doesn't care and they may or may not like your stuff. And so I learned that you have to try to just focus on finding your tribe outside of your friends and family network. And even though it seems weird, like it shouldn't have to be like that sometimes it is. Like, even remember that one girl, I think she responded to your thing and she was like, yeah, I don't even depend on friends and family anymore. I just go with Facebook ads. You know, because the thing about it is it's like we can't get bent out of shape. We can't force people to like our stuff. We can't force people to share our stuff. it's like the hope is there that they'll do it. But if they don't, we can't even rightfully get mad at them because they have no obligation to do it. They really don't. Like, you have no obligation to me. I don't have any obligation to you, because if I didn't like any of your posts, it doesn't mean I don't like you.
Let's go to Wikipedia and look up friend. And I bet you there's like a little blurb about liking stuff on social media. There has to be.
I mean, you would think, but it's not required, right? Like, you might be disappointed. Maybe, that disappointment would be there. Like, let's say if you didn't like when I started NacheSnow.com, if you didn't like anything or even comment about anything or say anything, I might have been a little disappointed and thought it was weird. And because we've known each other so long, I'll probably be like, hey, why haven't you done X, Y, and Z? Which is what I do to really good friends and family, where I say, rate my stuff. You haven't rated me yet. Hey, you didn't like this. Make sure you like this. But I don't expect anyone to. But when people do support me, I just know that is my core. Those are my ride or die people that will be there to the very end. And I feel like sometimes doing things like what we do helps you really see who's there for you. And it's not to say, because, we'll have friends and family listening to this, but it's not to say if someone has never liked our stuff, they wouldn't be there if we were going through something really bad. But in business, it lets you know who is going to be there to like support your endeavors and encourage you.
I guess I'll have to sleep on it.
But okay, so I think we've talked enough about our disappointment and some people who don't choose to do it, who are our friends and family, right? And for whatever reason, it could be because they just don't see it and they're not on social media a lot. It could be because of jealousy. It could be because they just don't realize the importance of it. It could be because, it could be a variety of reasons that are both negative and neutral. And in the neutral category, I'm putting like, maybe for some reason they're just not seeing it because they're rarely on social media. But regardless, what are some of the things that you do, like, to get other people that aren't friends and family to notice your stuff? Like, how did you build like your Astral Rouse tribe?
It's been so long. Like, it took a while to get where, it's not like I have like a ton of people following me right now, but I promote it on Facebook, word of mouth, and from the core people that I do have that support me, from them, liking and sharing my posts. So that's really how I got my following, and just random people, I guess, coming across my site, on Instagram and Facebook. So,
right. But I feel like you have put together like a good number of followers, I think sometimes, because they might be small to you. I think sometimes people see like Instagram followings of where people have like 50 or 60,000 people, and they just think like, oh, they must be so successful. They must have all these people that like them. But it's funny when your numbers are smaller. Like, for example, I think of even like for the Can I Park Here podcast or like Find a Fashion Truck, we have maybe like 1,500 Instagram followers and also people in the Facebook group. But these are diehard people. These are people who actually want to listen to what we have to say. If we were at 10,000, probably only a quarter of those people would actually be interested. Either they would have just followed for a follow, you know what I'm saying? Or they would be one of those dormant followers. So I feel like sometimes when you're under the 5,000 mark in followers, like, that's when you've really found your true tribe, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I would say for me, like even with what I'm doing now and what I've done before, is like just putting yourself out in as many places as possible, and people tend to find you. And sometimes that means with hashtags, sometimes that means emailing people, or I don't know, like it's just like putting yourself out there, meeting people in person. Like, yes, people there, you still can meet people, not just online. And
Boo.
and then that's when you find, like, someone great. I'm not sure when I'm going to air this episode, but I have an episode that I have scheduled to meet, where I met this girl from like an online order. She ordered something from Creative Route. And then I could just tell already that we're going to become fast friends, because we've already talked about networking. Like, even when I met her to drop off the sign, I talked to her 30 minutes about just like business stuff. And it's like, this is a connection, and who knows where it might lead. But it's like, that is how you find your tribe, just by talking to people and putting yourself out there. And so, yeah, I don't know. So I guess I wanted to record this episode with Astral, because I know we've talked about this topic a lot, but I want to tell you, don't get discouraged if you're not getting the support that you expected from friends and family, and don't get mad at them either.
Well, I'm not going to agree with that 100%. You can hold some type of grudge.
No. You know why? It's because I'm sure there have been friends of yours that have started Facebook pages or something that you didn't like.
And you know why I didn't like it? I just got a couple of requests within the last few days. I'm not going to like something if it looks suspect, if it is not properly put together, if it's ugly, if it doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to need you to have your stuff together if you want me to support you or like a business page or something like that.
But see, here's the thing. It's all subjective, right? Because somebody could not like our stuff because they might be like, I don't even know what this is, or I don't even like, his or her products, or like, what's the point of this? And so, in our head, like, it might be crystal clear, our stuff might be on point, but to somebody else, they might be like, not so much, because, it's subjective. So that's why I'm like,
no, because they need a friend to tell them, hey, you need to do better on this. I have a friend that will do that for me, which is you. Like, Astral, what is this? This is not up to par. This is not hot. You will tell me. They need somebody to tell them that. And by me not liking their page, that's a clue.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe they're trying to give us a clue too, So anywho, we're going to take the high road, despite what Astral just said. I mean, okay, but here's like something funny is like, but this is like ride or die, right? My grandmother, who is now 83, she has 83 people. She has even gone onto her little iPad or her computer, went to nachesnow.com without me even saying anything or helping her, and she subscribed to my email list. And she's freaking 83. How amazing is that? So in the scheme of things, I get what you're saying, Astral, because I'm like, if my 83-year-old grandmother, who's not even thinking about a brand or starting a business. This is why
I love your granny, because she likes all my stuff too.
So lesson learned today, people, is one, not take anything personal, but two, that be like Granny. Be like my grandmother. Just support your friends and your family. It doesn't cost you one dime, but it goes such a long way, you know? Yeah. I think we should end with that.
Sure.
Does that work? So, folks, I'd love to hear what you have to say. You could, comment, on the blog post, like the show notes, or just when I post this on social media, like just tag Astral and I, and yeah, just let us know what you think. Let us know if you agree or disagree. This is like hot conversation. It was like a really good combo in our private Facebook group. So, let us know. And as always, you can find me at NACHESNOW anywhere. And you can find Astral at
Astral Riles. And that is ASTRALRILES. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram.
And, I feel like after this episode, I want y'all to take this to heart. I need y'all to go over to iTunes or Stitcher and go and rate me 5 stars, and please leave a comment, because like we said, every little bit counts. Anywho, I will leave us there, and I hope you're having an amazing morning, noon, or night. Love you guys. Bye.